like its definition, science is the study of living things and non-living things. Technology has become so simplified and very advanced. On this edition, we get to look at teachers explaining and discussing with us on how we can actually learn science using digital science and virtual lab. It's a Sunday evening. Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Digital Science for you. Too much consumption of water or any other fluid will have you visit the toilet quite many times. For a Form 3 student, you're very familiar with this process. It's called excretion. Coming up is a biology teacher explaining this entire process using digital science and virtual lab.
Once again, you're welcome to our biology class, and I'm going to be your teacher. My name is Lydia Karuru. Today, we are going to look at a Senior 3 topic, and that is excretion in animals. And particularly, we are going to look at excretion in mammals, and that is the role of the kidney in this process of excretion. Maybe we just need to first know really what excretion is. Excretion is the process by which the body gets rid of waste products of metabolism. Why must the body get rid of these waste products? Because they are poisonous. If they remain in our bodies, they poison the cells, and this may lead to death. So waste products must leave our bodies, and that is the process, excretion. For today, our focus is going to be on the kidney and its role in this process of excretion. We're going to be using digital science to really see what happens as the kidneys try to carry out the process of excretion. Thank God for digital science. We look at the position of the kidney in the body. Every mammal or every human being, let's bring it closer to ourselves, has got 2 kidneys. And looking at this structure, we can see where exactly the kidneys are located. The 2 kidneys are located at the back of our bodies. I could say the spinal cord is in between the 2 kidneys. And as we can see, they are bean-shaped structures, red-brown in color. And taking it closely, bring it closer, we can see that the kidneys have other structures surrounding them that enable them to carry out this process of excretion. Let's look again. We can see the whole structure of the urinary system in our bodies. The kidneys are accompanied by other structures that help in this process of urine formation. These structures include the blood capillaries. That is, we have this red structure. You can see this red structure. That is the renal artery that is bringing oxygenated blood to the kidney. This blood is not only rich in oxygen, but it is also full of nutrients like glucose, amino acids, yes, that are coming that is coming into the kidney. While the blue blood vessel, do you see this blue blood vessel? That is the renal vein. And the role of the renal vein is to take deoxygenated blood from the kidneys. Now, we are looking at the structures that accompany the kidney and that are going to be helpful in this process of urine formation. Look at this other structure that is not the blood vessels. You see it? Let's go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. Yes, the ureter. Each kidney has got a ureter that runs from the kidney and goes down, joining at the urinary bladder. The bladder is the temporary store of urine until it is full. Then that urine will be released at intervals through the urethra. Of course, there is a sphincter that is responsible for regulating the amounts of urine that are to be released through the urethra. Let's look clearly at how the ureters look like. Going down to the bladder. And there we are. Down below the bladder, we have the urethra. Okay. So now, having seen the whole urinary system, we go deeper examining at just what really makes up this kidney. Just looking at one single kidney, this is what we see. The kidney, we said, is red-brown in color and its shape is like that of a bean. Looking at the kidney closely, a longitudinal section through it reveals that the kidney has three main layers. And here we go with our digital science, we can clearly see the layers. There's this outermost layer which is deeper red, and that is the cortex. Then we have an inner layer which is actually a little lighter, not as deeply red as the cortex. And that layer is the medulla. You can see it just looks like pink. That is the medulla. Then we have the other layer that is more closer to the renal arteries, and that is the pelvis. We can see that area of the pelvis. Wow, those are the three main parts that make up this kidney. Now, remember, we want to look at the role of the kidney in the process of urine formation. When blood comes to the kidney is going to play an important function in purifying this blood. And after this process of purifying the blood, we'll end up with this fluid that is known as urine. But this just does not happen in a small moment. Let's take a look at how the process takes place. Remember, I've told you that kidney is a very important organ in the body. And every kidney has small structures, small units inside it, millions of them. Actually, they're estimated to be about 3 million of them. These wonderful units are known as the nephrons. Every kidney has these tubules, the nephron. The nephron is the specific part that is responsible for filtering blood and composing urine. How does this take place? Digital science is here to make our lives as enjoyable as possible as we look at this process of urine formation. Here, this is what I mean. Let me take it back so that we're able to examine the structure of the nephron before we look at the function of every part. Look at this. And I've said they are very tiny and millions of them in each kidney. Before we look at how the nephron is important in the process of urine formation, we need to first understand the structure of the nephron. And thanks to digital science, here we are going to see the parts that make up the nephron. Let's go. Yes, this is it. This is it. Looks quite complicated, but thanks to digital science, very easy, very clear, and the colors show us the distinction between the different parts. The first part is a cup-shaped structure that makes what we call the Bowman's capsule. We can see that cup-shaped structure. Inside that cup-shaped structure is a mass of blood capillaries. The afferent vessel brings in blood to the cup-shaped structure, the Bowman's capsule, and here we have it. These blood capillaries form a knot of blood capillaries that actually forms what we call the glomerulus. Look at the glomerulus. Now, descending from the Bowman's capsule is a coiled structure, and that is the proximal convoluted tubule. Look at this coiled structure. And descending from the proximal convoluted tubule is a loop of Henle, which is actually U-shaped and very thin. It is the thinnest part of the whole tubule. Look at the loop of Henle. It has a descending limb and an ascending limb. Then, from the ascending limb of the loop of Henle, we look at the distal convoluted tubule. That is another very coiled structure. Look at the distal convoluted tubule and how coiled it is. Then after After that, simple, the last part, and that is the collecting duct. We're going to take a short break, and after that, we'll come back to look at the functioning of the nephron in the process of urine formation. See you then.